Hi, Cookie Runners and Formula One fans, and welcome back to Formula 2010. And let's be sure that with what's new, it won't be able to get updated for very soon until it was absolutely expired as well. So that the game just discontinued for once again, and it's been abandoned to start all the way for just way. So let's just start to go roll the race as well. So probably we're gonna begin around for the Catalunya, and we'll be testing around for some kind of cars, but not testing it is working probably, and some kind of a Formula One sounds for 2010s early from this year. The year is 2010s, and because some of the Formula One cars doesn't sound pretty as well, so I have to choose things literally right. I'll be starting with McLaren, and probably I will be spawning against two of them, and we'll be testing of these cars with the Formula One engine audio working properly as well. So instead of just driving a Ferrari, we're not absolutely going to be doing for such as one lap. And this is what absolutely we're going to be testing around for any more of these things as well. And perhaps that does for any of these vehicles doesn't working in for some kind of audio, even by using some kind of a little bit one thing. So as you're going to be pulling all the way, I just set to 2, but without Williams F1 vehicles, that doesn't recognizably sound literally perfect as well. So we're going to be testing all the sounds of with Formula 1 vehicles. Let's just spawn one car. I think this video is going to be about we're testing for some kind of the car engine sounds wasn't even working in about the Formula 2010. Now I just never seen this for some kind of last video, and just like 2 days ago or even yesterday, let's just spawn Oliver even to do like this one, but Marussia isn't gonna be working. But instead for Williams is still gonna be work as well. Or the Virgin Racing is actually like it's only one thing as well. Not the Marussia, it's Virgin Racing. Before this is not going to be for literally one ourselves. Probably we're going to be starting in about for Toro Rosso, and it's not going to be sound pretty good as well. Even though I just start the engines, as probably we have the for amount of engine as well, so we're going to be spawning all cars, including the Williams F1 car as well. So as I may spawn every kinds of vehicles, but except Ferrari and the Red Bull as possible. So we're spawning every vehicles. When the game updates, it never responds because of this account is inactive, or a developer is forever inactive or being abandoned of this game. Probably it won't be able to come for very much until a very end, and I'm not going to be telling you how. We're going to be testing about for these vehicles. So if it's not alright, unfortunately, this is absolutely where I just try to buy for this vehicle in the Drive World, because one of the most expensive cars in Drive World, it would need more credits about here. And except for safety cars will not exist in the map for this game, but not swear of game passes. Here we go, that the first thing we need to start the engines will be for the Red Bull. As we can do for itself, let's jump on board, and we should might able to press N or C for the camera mode. Let's press N to start, which means it's not pretty working. If I just jump out of this vehicle, the vehicle despawns in about 5 seconds. As I can jump into this car, so that's not pretty good about for this start. Let's just see. It's not working again. Even before it sounds like in the Ferrari F2010 from Gran Turismo 5. Unfortunately, we just jumped out of the vehicle. These were the working cars in about McLaren, Mercedes, including Force India. Let's just try to test it out, and for about to see like it's gonna be going for one moment. As I can jump inside of the vehicle, it's working. I forgot that almost pressing for that N button as well. So it's time to get work things out. As you can see, This sounds pretty a little bit perfect, so let's just gonna be giving ourselves a rev. And before this isn't gonna be very quickly as possible, let's just give in for a good old rev. Well, this pretty sounds is amazing, or some kind of awesome, or even boring, like I say. I would rather to be saying that we're gonna be keeping on this engine running until it despawns in the last 5 seconds. Unfortunately, I didn't turn off the engine. Let's just start up the Mercedes. It also sounds pretty great, but the revs pretty awesome as well, but I forgot to turn off the engine before I just jump out of the vehicle. Now, this is absolutely that I say, it's not all of these vehicles that we are going to be starting as well. But what about the Renault? Let's just turn on the engine at once. Oh dear. I think this is not something kind of a real sound like this thing. It's absolutely unacceptable. This is absolutely one of the last years to use a Renault vehicle until 2017 it was returning before replaced it to the Alpine as well. So currently this is the last year to use this before being changed to Caterham in 2011 for any Formula 1 changes. Now next thing is the Williams. It doesn't get to be starting as well. Maybe it does not pretty work as well. And because of the audio for this F1 V8 sounds doesn't pretty even to work. But what about this Formula 1 car as well? I should be able to test it out. Maybe. It's not pretty, I guess. It's pretty something is not going to work at all. But maybe we should be able to try for the Force India. I think it was slightly working. So probably let's turn on the engine and see what it was. I know it was possibly working. This is the Force India with their engines working audio? Probably. If we shouldn't able to fix this for the engine sounds, unfortunately that doesn't gotta be work. And I forgot to turn off the engine. I don't pretty need it to start off this engine as well, and because of the engine sounds doesn't even to work on these best Formula 1 cars. And finally we have last two. We got the Lotus. I hope it does literally works. And it's officially not working because I feel something very stressful. And the last one is the Marussia, which means Virgin Racing. We got last two of them, so looks like this is the Virgin Racing. It's not about Marussia, but it is exactly some kind of Virgin Racing until that switch here to Marussia as well. So let's turn on the engine. Unfortunately not in about last couple of videos ago, or even yesterday. And finally, it was exactly Sauber F1T. The BMW Sauber is not even real. It replaces some kind of real Sauber, like the Alfa Romeo. Let's turn on the engine and see what it was. And finally, every Formula 1 car doesn't even work. We're going to be testing out into the track with 3 Formula 1 cars, probably. That doesn't get to be designated for even for an engine audios even work. Now let's start with the Force India. Let's just jump into about for this thing, and we're gonna be about to turn on the engine. Sequential transmission on, and we're ready to roll. And about one Formula 1 car, and its speeds exceed limit to 80 kilometers an hour. What should be able to change in about for one condition? Let's just say we need to do for our best lap, turn off for all of these things as well. I'm not pretty sure. We got 1 corner cut as well. We got 4 corner cuts as well. I think that's spam too many longer as well. But unfortunately, we shouldn't able to start as anywhere before the tires had just started to warm up as well. After 1 lap, we have to literally try to start in against for starting in about 4 laps. let's just do it one before we never try to ever to beat that thing. So let's reach it all the way to 200 miles an hour itself for one. Now let's just gonna be bringing up for the full throttle, and let's just try to start anyways. It's about for being earlier. It is trying to get the things a little bit slow. Now hit on to the gear 5. But what I just recommend is going to be using the mouse control. And by the way, it's going to be reaching all the way to blast over here to 300 kilometers an hour. Down to 5th gear, we're starting in lap time as literally even as possible as well. I'm really sure that the first sector is working right now. 19 seconds. 19.650. This is the fastest first sector of all time. It's not better, looks like an octane, but looks like in Forced India. Probably this is going to be taking for a little bit as one after Forced India has been literally taken out of one selection and before replacing it for Racing Point in 2018. Now 25 seconds and for our second sector as well. The third sector isn't going to be very much quicker. Now I'm probably trying to make things a little bit slow, and I must be very perfectly well, so I cannot believe this isn't going to be going around here. Slightly bad at English. So the lap is 69, 1 minute and 9 seconds. I beat Rainbow Dash's lap time as well, probably including the top gear. So let's just try to turn off the engine, and we're just about to jump out of this vehicle and reset my character back to McLaren. I wouldn't bring it back into the pits as well, but up next is gonna be literally for your best will be McLaren. As we just start the engine, let's just gonna be pressing C for the camera mode, switch to sequential mode. This is pretty loud as well. Now it's about to do for its outlap to do so. Now let's switch into the camera. Not even possible. I can't see. And literally as possible that I just currently using for this vehicle. This is going to be something is going to be the best. Now to test sounding for some kind of an engines. Literally trying to work these out. I should not able to give myself for a big slide, and for overall we're not able to lose grip. Now as we can never be able to see a route for this moment, we have to try to beat for 1 minute and 8 seconds. This is going to be our fastest Formula 1 car. We didn't never be able to see about this. Now the 4th gear. Now, even for the first silver alloys, I don't really think this is not going to be taking in about for 1 moment. Let's take for a very fastest lap. Now bring it on into our something like literally fastest lap on Earth. So starting in about for this first lap, I'm one in selection in about for this thing. Now in 4th gear to 5th gear, I cannot believe this isn't going to be going for very much as ever. I recommend it I'm gonna be using for some kind of for a mouse control 9.587. This is gonna be a little bit fast than one ourselves. To hit the right itself for 4th gear without going to spin out, without losing gap with our previous lap on Force India, I will be generally more faster than Force India as well. Now let's try to start slow down. 25.7 on the second sector. That must be something is a little bit quick, but I must need to get more faster than I actually wanted to did around here. So, oh dear, we got a 5th corner cut as well. We can see 6 corner cuts. Oh dear, we have a very bad like these cells. Oh my sweet Celestia! This is is absolutely feels so strangely bad on almost 20 corner cuts as well. Nah, I won't be able to believe so. To be honest, this is literally exactly for some kind of worst lap as well. So let me see for our result of the lap time after continuously spamming itself. We're gonna be going back into the pit and we need to do for another attempt 1 minute and 11.112. And that is exactly, this is exactly so much worse idea to see like this one. Before I must be trying. This is impossible. Now let's see for the camera mode. I don't really think so, and about for this best lap. I need to retry a little bit one, because unfortunately this video goes for 15 minutes. Once we have 33 corner cuts, which means I'm starting to get bad at racing as well for a very best lap time. Now it's about to get even more worse. Now let's just try to say we have 3 laps. Overall, we just might be able to reach something a little bit even more interesting about for this thing. So we just eventually started to get over slide. And about for the 6th gear, I might be able to get for even for 3 laps total. 19.8. Oh, this is not going to be something that's very fast. This isn't really fast. We're going to be trying to make as fast as possible before I might be able to switch to automatic transmission. After spams of corner cutting, I swear my Celestia, this is really bad as well. Now, try to slow down as possible. 25.8. I really tried to beat for this last time's record. Ooh, we just slightly missed around for this many attempts for more. Now, this is going to be for our second attempt with MP4. Now, looks like this one, this McLaren MP4 is going to be blasted ourselves into 1 minute and 10.008. I need to attempt some more. And we never try to make ourselves, we need to do this only one over again. Now, let's just try for a 6th gear. What I just expected to be fast, 18.9. I just literally making for the world's most fastest sector in some kind of other worlds. Now, I should start being so slow at all times before somebody who tries to beat my lap record. Now, let's just get it hit it about for the 6th gear. Now, we just eventually slow down, 25.4. And this is absolutely the 2nd fastest sector in Sector 2. Now probably the Sector 3 is going to be such as one faster, but unfortunately I might start to get struggling around for the best lap. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be trying to do so, but I just literally survived 1 minute and 8.7. Finally, this is exactly how we met the fastest lap. I really guess I just completely lost. And let's just turn up the engine and we're going to be moving to the next one. Once I just respawn into that garage that I just chose the team Mercedes, we're going to be using for the Mercedes one thing, is the W01. That must be our very first silver hour Formula 1 car we ever seen for this very first time. Let's jump in and turn on the engine. Switch into sequential transmission. I'll never probably be seen for this moment. We're going to be doing for this one turn. And we're going to be trying to make things our best and beat the lap record, but that designated not going to be trying to do for making it so fast. Oh dear, we got a slight lead for 38 corner cuts as well. And totally, this isn't going to be making for such a very best idea. We have to make for the best lap as possible before I designate it not to be for such as best as a long time. Before the end of today's video, I'm probably slightly turning off the engine down. And completely in our first attempt is literally bad as well. Now we started to get losing grip. Now we're just gonna be full throttle after turning around for this one corner as well. Now let's be sure, to be honest, is try to making for ourselves our best lap. Now we're gonna be trying to reach ourselves for our best lap. Unfortunately, we just thrown off until the start. Unfortunately, we cannot make the best lap as well, and because it feels fire to do so. Let me just regain out here. And unfortunately, we got for 55 corner cuts as well. But I'm availing that we try to make things all the way around and not try to fail as much as possible. And we would rather try not to see in about for this one moment 76 corner cuts. Oh no, we just failed another attempt. Maybe, oh, we got for about for 100 corner cuts later, 122 corner cuts we have totally. Alright, we just literally failed for too much and it has been gone too long as well. I didn't absolutely try to beat this thing all overall. I think we just eventually failed for many times as possible, and because slightly keeping on spamming corner cuts as well, I'm pretty not sure we just literally failed for one condition. It's not trying to do for such as one best to do, I say. Now it's time to do this once again because I'm just literally trying to cool my tires down and I'll be waiting for regain. Once I just regaining from my tires, I forgot to optimize for the wings like itself, which has probably started to do, not being such a standard as well. So let's just gonna be keeping our balance as well. Before we're gonna be end of this video, let's try to be honest. This is gonna be extremely hard for me, and it's not gonna be suitable for fastest laps. Attempting to make the fastest lap ever, instead of just gonna be reaching up to 5th gear, which almost is exactly is gonna be making so much more sense as well. Now reaching it about upon us for a 300 kilometers an hour. Let's try to do for us maximize the attack line. I don't really think silver arrow isn't going to be handled as possible. Now the first sector is 9.2. This is a little bit slow, but unfortunately I could not able to be fast as well. Now let's be sure we try to slow them down, but unfortunately I cannot be good for some other kinds of corners. Let's be in the 6th gear and the 7th gear. The second sector isn't going to be green. 25.7. I'm not going to be very fast as possible until it's not going to be best as well. This is not slightly best to do so. Let's just turn slow down, and I won't be able to get for a flat out like this one before. I really think this isn't going to be very good to just like its attempt. Still track exceeding for very much of these spams. Keep on complaining about for corner cutting as well. It's still whatever we try to do. Too many corner cuts as well. I don't really believe this isn't going to be 1 minute and 9.1. I think that should not able to be the best lap, whatever we try to do. Not seen by these things, and I absolutely try to reset my character as fast as possible. But I'm not worrying about for this thing because slightly we have to turn off the engine as well. So before this is not going to be taking for a best idea. I keep an eye on my engine running because this is where I just gonna be turned out for myself. But last thing we need to do is to the end of this video. For too many attempts, I think this video has gotten for over 15 minutes longer. So anyways, if you do not like of this video, probably for some kind of bad lucks and for overshooting for some kind of corners as well, it must be overpowered of the F1 vehicles as well. Thanks for watching of today's video, and I'm not slightly sure. This is about for a working engines, about for the working F1 cars. Now we thank you for watching and about today's video, and looks like this is Turbo Concept is signing off probably, but next time we cannot able to do this again because unfortunately I feel such as bad luck in against the Formula 1 vehicles, even because it's my favorite. Let's just be sure to try to move on to for Project Apex as well. So thanks again for watching, and I'm gonna be seeing you mini lads and Formula 1 fans out here, and especially cookie runners all later, that I just literally trying to say this out. And because that is all the Formula 1 engines, especially you have to choose 3 of them by using McLaren, Mercedes, and finally Force India. Cheer out as possibly we know it. And that's all that I have to say.